In today's lesson, we're going to be learning about chroma keys, also known as blue screens and green screens. With chroma keys, you can replace parts of your videos, and by the end of this lesson, you're going to know how to 1. Add custom backgrounds to your footage, 2. Use green screens for cool effects, and 3. Layer videos on top of each other with green screens. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to need are videos that have a green or blue screen. These colors need to be a solid background behind your subject. So if you have a curtain with different shades of green, that will not work so well. What you're looking for is a flat green screen behind your subject. Let's take a look at some examples. Head over to Stock Media, Pixabay, Videos, and just type green screens. So these are what I'm referring to. As you can see, there are flat green. There is no wrinkles, no different shades, no shadows. And using green screens, I can easily isolate my subject without the background. So the difference between masking and chroma key is that masking keeps a segment of your video. And as we saw, it's usually a shape, so it's like a heart and a star and all that. But with green screens, you get to keep the outline of that shape. Let's take a look at this video. So as you can see, the subject here is not really something flat like a star or a heart. It is something with a lot of detail. So you can see these tiny little lines here. And if I were to use masking, I can not only isolate the sheep, I will end up getting some of the green as well, because masking uses general shapes to keep parts of your video. Let's drag this to our timeline. I'm going to delete extra tracks. And now let's go ahead and add a mask overlay. As you can see, I'm not able to just keep these sheep. I'm also getting the green areas, and this is just not suitable for me. Even if I move to position X and make it smaller, I'm still getting these green bits. So green screen allows you to keep the subject alone and nothing extra. So that's the main difference between image mask or just masking in general and chroma keys. Head back to Stock Media, and now let's explore some other examples. This right here is a cartoon animation, but you can use green screens for real life items. Let's open our browser and head over to pexels.com, where I can find green screens featuring real people and just real things. Go to Video, type green screen, hit OK. And here I'm seeing real people in front of a green screen. Let's go ahead and download this video. You can also download things that don't have any humans in them. We're going to explore them soon. Got plenty of options right here. And you can download different types of media to test this chroma key effect. You may also find these types of green screens that have plus signs in the back. These are meant for motion tracking, which we will learn in a further lesson. Just go ahead and get anything that has a flat screen. Don't mind these for now. Alright, so I downloaded 2 videos, and now it's time to import them to my project. I've imported both files in my Filmora, and Filmora went ahead and created a proxy file that we learned about. So let's first explore this option. I'm going to get a background footage underneath my green screen because I want this sheep on this white background. Select the video that has the green screen and head over to this icon, which is green screen. Click it once and you're getting this panel. You can also access this by double-clicking on your video and heading over to Basic, scrolling down to Chroma Key or Green Screen. Turn it on, and you will get rid of that background. Now here's what's happening. Filmora is targeting this color, which is the green that we had. Let's turn this off, which is the green that we have right here. Filmora is removing any part of the video that has this green color. Now that is why it's important to have a flat color as your background and not different shades of green. If there were green on my sheep here, parts of that sheep would also disappear. So make sure that the subject is not wearing any green and your animations don't have any green either. If it's a blue background, you can use the eyedropper tool. We're going to see that in a minute. We have some options right here. I will choose a different background so we can see things a lot more clear. I'm going to place this right above here. There we go. So now we can see the edges a lot better. Go back to ChromaKey. We have offset, which is the intensity of the background and how much of it is left. If you go towards the right, you're removing even more than what you already removed. And if you go to the left, you're bringing back the background. But notice how it's not green. So when you turn on ChromaKey, all the green is already gone. If you bring the offset all the way to the left, you're just adding another background without the green. So you would be creating a background that doesn't have green in it. So you can work with offset and see which one works best for you. Maybe you just want to keep this part of the drawing, or maybe you want a little bit of the background color in. We then have tolerance, which is you increasing the range of tints that are left behind. So if I bring this to the right, you can see I'm increasing the tints that are in the sheep. If I go to the left, I'm decreasing it. And again, I'm bringing back the background, but it's still not green because we already got rid of the green in select color. Let's undo this. We then have edge thickness. Let's zoom in to see the edge. All right, I zoomed in to see the edge, and right now it's -2 because that's what Filmora set for this example. If I go towards the left, I'm removing from the edge. But if I go to the right, I'm bringing back extra space from the background. Let's go back to what it was. If you go to the left, you are taking from the edge. If you go to the right, you're adding to the edge. There we go. We then have edge feather, which softens out the edges right here. So it's on 2, but if you go on 0, it will be pretty pixelated. I'm sure you can see. If I go towards the right, I'm feathering out those edges until you get something like this. So if you see that the edges of your subject is way too pixelated, you can work with edge feather. We finally have alpha channel. When you turn this on, you're getting black and white. This is really helpful because sometimes it's hard to see the edges of your subject. Not so much for our example because it's cartoonish, but if let's say you were working with hair, you would definitely want to turn on alpha channel and make sure that all the subject's hair is in the white. So the parts that are white are things that are visible. The stuff that are black are the things that are invisible. Let's zoom out. So you can see my sheep right now is white because it's fully visible. And the background is black because we have removed it. So by looking at the alpha channel, maybe I can go back in. Let's drag this here. And then work with the sliders to make sure that I'm not getting any extra bits in my selection. Keep something like this. And I could just work with my sliders, but this time because it's alpha channel, I can make sure that I have everything in. So let's zoom out. So notice that my sheep is a little bit gray. This tells me that I need to add to the tolerance. There we go. Now that it's flat white, I know that every single part and detail of my sheep is in frame. But previously, let's undo this, it was gray. that means that I'm losing a little bit of the original color from the video. And I could not have known this without the alpha channel, because it looks pretty normal here. But if I have alpha channel turned on, I can see that this area is not flat white, it's gray, meaning that I'm losing some of the details from my sheep. So I'm going to turn this on and add to the tolerance. Let's check this off. And now my sheep is in full frame and I'm not losing any detail. You can reset all the sliders by clicking this or turn off the effect completely using the switch right here. Now let's try a real life example. Now let's head over to our media where we imported the green screens that were real. And now let's add in this video. So there's a green screen of this lady just talking on the phone. And we are going to place her on top of this orange background this time. Let's go ahead and double click and then come down to ChromaKey. So video, basic, scroll down, ChromaKey. And now it's placed on top of our orange background. Now let's check the settings and the sliders before moving on, because sometimes we may end up keeping a bit of that green in the hair especially. So we want to zoom in and just move the video until you can see the detailed areas. I'm going to hit alpha channel. All right, I have some gray areas here. I'm going to increase my tolerance until I'm getting a flat white. Let's check the other areas. Let's turn this back off. Go to offsets where I'm going to just remove, as in add a little bit to this slider. 4 points is okay. Let's work with the thickness. I'll bring it down to -1. Just type it in here. And undo that. Hit OK. So now I'm certain that my subject is separated from that green screen by zooming in and adjusting my sliders. Double click and just bring the video back. Let's play it back and see if we're missing anything. So it's pretty good, and now I have separated the subject. You can also use other backgrounds. It doesn't have to be a color. Let's delete the orange background, head over to stock media, and we can get this video. Drag it underneath, and now she is in this area. With a little bit of color grading and effects, you can make this look more realistic. Something that you can do is blur out the background because the camera is focused on the subject. Head over to effects and search for blur. Let's add square blur on top of the video. Double click and just increase the size until it looks blurred out. Something like so. Hit OK. And now let's play this back. And my subject is in front of a different background. And we did this with ChromaKey. Let's look at our last example. I went ahead in stock media and downloaded a blue screen this time. You can find the same video. Add that to my video on the video track number 2, match to media, place a video underneath. Select the blue screen video, double click, turn on ChromaKey. But this time we do not have a green, so I need to grab the eyedropper tool and select this purple color. And there we go, just like that, I got rid of the purple screen. You can work with the sliders, but these are okay for me. I'm just going to turn on alpha channel to make sure that everything is okay. I'm going to work with my feathering, turn this back off, and now the bear video is inside the computer. Double click on the bear video, head to transform, and rotate it in a way that it would work for you. Maybe scale it if you'd like. Let's rotate it. Lock the top video layer and just work with the video underneath. So now it's in the right perspective. And there we go. Now we have this guy working on his computer and watching this video. And that is how you can use ChromaKey to replace a background, replace screens, and create cool effects for your videos. In the next lesson, we're going to learn about something else that brings all of these three elements together: masking, ChromaKey, and compositing. Let's move on to the next lesson.